Another remarkable structure. But what can its purpose be?
Actually, I can answer this one. In the Files 1K downloaded, there's a design for a launch pad for space vehicles. This is about 90% identical.
Is it functional?
I don't think so, not if the inside is like the other towers.
notes, Athena and Cornelius called what they were doing the Noema Project. But in 1K's vision, they just called it the Machine. Because when you strip away all the fancy rhetoric, that's all it is. It's not a source of meaning or purpose. It's just another machine.
The scale of it all is truly breathtaking. But is it a human scale? Or is it so enormous that it can only alienate us? Humans have always been happiest in small communities.
Small town paranoia, isolationism and peasant mentality. Great for burning witches, not so great for personal freedom.
Ever the pessimist?
In the simulation, I found myself thinking how hard it must have been for Alexandra to die without knowing if her sacrifices were worth it. It seemed like a tragic end to an inspiring, meaningful life. But now I realize her whole life must have been a struggle. To maintain that faith in humanity when so many people around her insisted that humans are evil, worthless, when they were so lost in self-hatred that they would call their own species a virus. How did she do it? How did she maintain her faith when they were so determined to hate themselves? So determined to reject every solution, every analysis, every step towards controlling the forces that were causing their problems, when they rejected even the concept of progress itself, and then patted themselves on the back for it as if that was original. When I look at the archives now, all I can see is that their leaders were short-sighted idiots and their intellectuals were unimaginative cowards. All they could offer people was a downward trend. Fewer rights, fewer freedoms, fewer resources for anything that mattered. They must have hated Alexandra and everything she stood for. So how did she have so much faith?
I wanted to take a moment to talk to you. I know we're all worried about Byron, especially Al, and I don't want to minimise what happened. But now that the mayor's here, I'm afraid they're going to take this and turn it into a reason to bury their head in the sand. Yes, Byron was rash. He wanted to find Athena so badly that it made him blind. But the thing is, he was right. He was completely and utterly right about what this technology could mean to us. I didn't see it at first, but now it couldn't be more clear to me. The theory of everything is the future, and if we reject it, we're condemning ourselves to a slow death. I'm glad. You know, I didn't even realise how much I'd limited my own imagination. How I talked myself into just accepting this incredibly poor future we'd been offered. A future where things just keep getting slightly worse every day, and we accept it because we're ashamed of ourselves. Not of something we've done, but just of our existence. Like we're a virus on this planet. Like our humanity is a sin. I'm so tired of it, 1K. I kept my head down. I focused on fixing things. But that's all I ever did. I never improved anything. I never built anything new. And when I imagine going on like this for thousands of years, that's a fate worse than death. It really is. We either live and grow and expand boldly and proudly, or we might as well switch ourselves off. We better, because I don't think I can handle the alternative.